Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hello, and if you're not new, then hey there. So nice of you to stop by again. And if you've been here before, then thank you for your support. It means a lot to me and I really appreciate it. Today, we're going to talk about Ferrari. Now that is all I'm going to say, because everything else will be a spoiler. Just kidding. Let's talk about Ferrari. But in order to talk about Ferrari, I first need to take you back in time. Back to the beginning, 1929, to be exact. A young man named Enzo Ferrari was looking to start his own race car team. Up until this point, he had worked at an Alfa Romeo as the head of their racing division, but he was ready to strike out on his own. The problem was, he didn't have enough money to do it. In 1932, Enzo managed to get some funding, and he started his own race car team. He named it Scuderia. Their first race was in May of 1939. They drove an Alfa Romeo 12-cylinder race car, and they won the race. This was awesome news for Enzo because he knew right then that his team was going to be successful. Unfortunately, World War II happened, and Enzo was forced to put his dream on hold. During the war, Enzo worked with Fiat to build military vehicles. When the war ended, Enzo went back to his dream, but now his dream had changed. Instead of just being a race car team, he wanted to build his own cars. In 1947, he founded Ferrari SPA. Officially, their first car wasn't finished until 1948. They called it the Ferrari 125S. It was a beautiful car with an amazing sounding V1 engine. One thing about this car that you might find interesting is that it was rear-wheel drive instead of front-wheel drive like most cars at the time. The engine in the 125S could produce 180 horsepower. That made it much more powerful than most cars of the era. Because of its power and its handling, the 125S was a huge success. This success encouraged Enzo to make more cars. In 1949, he came out with the Ferrari 166. It had a 4-speed gearbox and a new double overhead camshaft engine. Because of these changes, the Ferrari 166 was much more advanced than any other car on the market. In 1950, the first Ferrari race car was built. It was the Ferrari 340 America. It was designed to compete in international sports car races. The 340 America was a mix between a road racer and a Grand Tour. Its body was designed by Ferrari. This was the start of a great partnership between Ferrari and Ferrari. They would go on to work together on many famous Ferraris over the years. By the early 1950s, Ferrari was well on its way to becoming one of the most successful sports car manufacturers in the world. They were turning out beautiful, powerful cars that could compete with the best from Europe and America. In 1952, they introduced the Ferrari 250 GT. It had a 3-liter Colombo V1 engine. It was capable of reaching speeds of up to 240 kilometers per hour. Because of its performance, the 250 GT became one of the most sought-after Ferraris of all time. Collectors today would kill for one of these beauties. Now let's talk about one of the most important moments in Ferrari's history. In 1961, the company went public. The shares were offered to the public on the Italian stock exchange. This was a huge success, and it gave Ferrari the financial stability it needed to continue building amazing cars. This was also the year that they introduced the Ferrari 250 SWB. It was based on the 250 GT, but had a shorter wheelbase. This made it even more nimble, and it became one of the most successful racing cars of the era. It won many races, including the Tour de France and the Nürburgring 1,000 kilometers. Throughout the 1960s, Ferrari continued to release new models. Some of these cars included the Ferrari 330 P3, the Dyno 206S, and the 365 California. Each one was more amazing than the last. Ferrari had become a household name, and people all over the world wanted to own one. By the end of the 1960s, Ferrari was one of the most valuable brands in the world. However, in 1974, something terrible happened. Enzo Ferrari died. He had led the company since its inception, and now they needed a new leader. Luckily, they found the perfect person for the job. His name was Luca D. Luca was a former Fiat executive who had a passion for Ferrari. Under his leadership, Ferrari continued to release new models. Some of the cars they released during this time included the Ferrari 308 GTB, the 512 BB, and These cars were unlike anything Ferrari had ever made before. They were more luxurious, and they had more horsepower than any Ferrari before them. The 1980s were a great time for Ferrari. They were selling more cars than ever before, and they were making more money than they ever had. However, towards the end of the decade, things started to turn around. the economy began to decline and people stopped buying luxury items. This had a huge impact on Ferrari, and they needed to do something to survive. In 1990, they decided to do something that no one thought possible. In the late 1990s, Ferrari released some of the most amazing cars of all time. These cars included the Ferrari F50, the Enzo, and the 360 Modena. Each one was more amazing than the last. They pushed the boundaries of what was possible in the automotive world, and they left people in awe. In 2008, Ferrari released another game-changing car. They called it the Ferrari 430 Scuderia Spider 16M. It was the most powerful open-top car in the world. It had a 4.3-liter V8 engine that produced 500 horsepower. This car showed the world that Ferrari was still at the top of their game. Since then, Ferrari has continued to release new models. Some of these cars include the FF, the LaFerrari, and the 488 GTB. Each one is more amazing than the last. Ferrari has become one of the most valuable brands in the world. But Ferrari isn't just about cars. It's about the experience. When you drive a Ferrari, you feel like $1,000,000. You know that you're driving one of the most amazing cars in the world. You can't help but smile when you get behind the wheel. For many people, owning a Ferrari is a dream come true. It's the ultimate status symbol. It shows the world that you've made it. So what's next for Ferrari? Who knows? But one thing is for sure, it will be amazing. They're always pushing the boundaries of what's possible in the automotive world, and they're not afraid to experiment. Who knows what the future holds for Ferrari? One thing is for sure, it will be exciting. Well, that's all I got for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like. It helps out a lot. Also, if you love videos like this, then consider subscribing. It's totally free and you can always unsubscribe. But if you don't, then you'll be missing out on awesome videos like this one. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys next time.